Today, we're going to be reacting to Josh Brueckner and Chase Demoor's boxing fight in the heavyweight division, which was on the DAZN and Misfits card, and we're very excited to be talking about it.
Let's go. Welcome back to Your Cup of Tea podcast, episode 12. We are about to get into it. It's your boy Josh, and we got KDB here.
It's not just Josh. It is the international champion of the heavyweight division, Josh Brueckner.
Oh. Hey, stop. Come on.
Okay, we're just kidding. But guys, today
is big old, we're holding the belt in the middle like very awkwardly. It's weird.
Heavy.
And it's heavy. KDB carried it around the airport all day yesterday. We're going to get into all the details on the fight. The pre-fight buildup, the arguments, the fighting outside of the fight,
the drama that went down. And honestly, I'm so excited because these are things that we probably would never even talk about if we didn't have a podcast, because we're not gonna make a YouTube video.
There's a lot to go into it. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, it sounds like KDB has lost her voice. She's doing a lot of yelling this weekend.
That's because, well, Chase had his shooters.
Whatever his name is.
You had your girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding. Your wife. We'll get into that.
We're gonna get into all that details, but if you guys didn't watch the action, your boy got to fight on the DAZN and Misfits card on Saturday, which was super exciting, and it actually was for a heavyweight title, which I had no idea about, and I'm not even a heavyweight. We'll get into that as well. And so your boy is a heavyweight influencer boxing champ. I don't know what KDB said like in the intro. She said like international.
That's what it says on the belt.
Does it say international?
I honestly was just reading the belt.
She was just reading the belt. Okay, so apparently it does say international. Okay. I don't know. We're getting kind of into it.
So my voice is completely gone because I was screaming at the top of my lungs for Joshy B, as I should.
As you should, as a good wife would do.
If I had my voice, then I'm a flop of a wife.
It's a cheerleader, you know. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, yes, I do have a black eye. That's what happens when you get punched in the face. And it was a fight, and I did get punched in the face.
You must have lost then.
Nah, but yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the fight.
Where do we want to start? Like, there's so much to talk about.
Let's start when you first found out that he wanted to fight.
Okay, yeah, so let's dive way back into it. So I was supposed to fight some total other random guy on the fight card, and he backed out like probably 4 weeks before the fight was supposed to happen. And I got a phone call that Chase Demoor would fight me, and I didn't even go look at any of his videos or anything. I was just like, absolutely, I'm down. He was an ex-football player, not pro. He was an ex-football player, and I don't
know if it was college or high school. I don't know what level.
Yeah, the guy on the phone said he's game. He's an athlete. He's a big dude, and it would be a heavyweight title or a heavyweight fight. And I was like, oh, geez, like I'm not a heavyweight. Like I weigh 190 pounds, and heavyweight, if you guys don't know, is 200 pounds to 265. Like there's a big weight gap in there where you could fight at. And typically you weigh like 220, 240.
Well, that's why there is weight classes in boxing and even in MMA, because the weight makes a huge difference. Like, I mean, even look at like Floyd Mayweather versus like Logan Paul. That's why it was close, because like obviously the boxing skills of someone like Floyd Mayweather are so much better. But like when you have that big of a size advantage, it makes a total,
that's the whole reason it's a whole different game in fighting. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a reason there's weight classes for like safety reasons and for like a whole bunch of skills.
I was like, absolutely, I would love to punch this dude in the face. And typically when I fight, it's never like, oh, I really want to like punch this guy in the face. But like this guy, no one seems to like Chase Demoor, whatever it is. No one seems to like him. No. He comes off very like cocky, arrogant, douchey. And that's exactly what we experienced all week long leading up to the fight, which we're going to dive into. And then, and I was like, yes, I would love to punch him in the face. He's 6'5", he weighs 240, and is going to look sick as hell when I beat a big old dude.
With such a size advantage. Yeah. You're look even cooler.
I looked like, I've never been like, oh my gosh.
Tiny. You look small.
I looked tiny.
Like literally, all my family members, they were like, Josh looks so tiny compared to him, and Josh is like a big dude. Like
I'm 6'1", I weigh 195 pounds, fluctuates. And typically I'm either like on the taller end of people we're around, or at least like
you're never like a short.
I'm never short.
No.
But this man was 6'5". That's a big short, dude.
But like chest body wise, like you look smaller. Like you just look a lot tinier than him. And it was really cool because it was like when they were doing face off, I was like, even though Josh, because even your mom texted me, she's like, because your mom doesn't know as much about like boxing.
If you
and
don't
stuff.
know fighting, I feel like the obvious answer is you always just go with the bigger looking person.
Yeah,
and maybe
like,
scarier.
She's
like
this
she thought
guy
he looked scary.
She's like, this guy looks so much bigger than Josh. Are you sure he's gonna be okay? I said, Tammy, I said, don't worry. I said, that's not all that matters in boxing. I was like, Josh is a way better fighter. He'll be fine.
That's right.
And so anyway, we check into the hotel on Tuesday night. The fight's not till Saturday. We check in, we go to bed, and then the second day of being there, technically the first day, but
yeah, we had an open workout.
Yeah, but Wednesday we wake up, we get breakfast, and we're like, we see Chase in the lobby, and we're like, oh, that's weird. They put the fighters in the same hotel.
Yeah, typically for like fights, they don't usually put fighters in the same hotel because like that's how beef starts and like actual fighting outside of the boxing ring takes place.
Yeah.
Which almost went down this week or that weekend.
So
which was very interesting.
All of Chase and his boys or whatever are there. And then at the time, just Josh and his 3 coaches and then me are there because all our friends hadn't arrived yet because it's way too early. Like the fight's not till Saturday. So we go to open workout, which whatever. At first, it's just kind of like, it's like awkward, but not really because like no one really cares. Like you're just seeing the other fighter. It's not like you hate the person really or you know anything really about them.
Yeah, we were at the open workout and it was cool to catch up with like a bunch of people like in that scene because obviously I haven't fought in 3 years. Like it's been a while and I know like obviously this influencer boxing thing has become like a huge like outbreak. Like everyone's doing it now. So it's cool to catch up with all the fighters, announcers, commentators. Like they were all at this open workout. So that was cool.
It's funny because at the open workout, it was like me and one other girl that worked for DAZN and then one of like Chase's like posse people that was a girl and that's it. Or I don't even know if she was there. I was like the only girl.
This happens often in our relationship where Katie B finds herself
in situations with like
where she's like might be
guys.
the only girl, which is funny because yeah, my wife, this is my ride or die, you know, dream team, teamwork makes the dream work. And yeah, of course she's going to be there supporting me. Why would she not be? And like, it's also like a content boxing like situation, which most pro boxing fights are anyways. And that's what we do for a living. We make content. So of course she's going to be there.
Well, something I don't think people realize too is like, we're not just married. We're also business partners. Like you're like, does anyone know like Mark Wahlberg has all his business partners fly with him to go shoot his movies and work with him?
Absolutely.
Because like, and obviously we're not at that level, but like we aren't just married. We work together. We have to work together every single day. So like, that's another factor. It's not like, oh, we're just dating or like, and even if we were like, oh my gosh, of course I'd be there. If I was dating someone, I'd be there to support you.
I was going to say, I think anyone in a serious relationship would like go out there to support their significant other because it's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Like it's a fight. Like that's the whole point of fighting. Like it's entertainment. Like, of course you would want to be there. So
we get there though. And Chase does his open workout first, right?
Yeah. He pulls up, he hops in the ring. He does his open workout in Air Forces and Pit Vipers. The only time I saw the Mans without Pit Vipers on was in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
I didn't watch him walk out, but he might have walked out with Pit Vipers on. I'm not sure. Or they were Oakleys.
No, I think he had some type of like
he had a mask on.
But anyway, during the open workout, I first couldn't tell. Like I was like, I don't know if he's like joking because like he had sunglasses on, he wasn't wearing boxing shoes, and like he was not hitting mitts hard, which I think he maybe could hit mitts harder.
And to be fair, like he didn't do any warm up. He just hopped in the ring and started like hitting pads and then like stopped. But his footwork was kind of awkward, but I don't think
he took it seriously.
He didn't take it seriously.
And that's fine. Some people do that. Some like influencers, like they either like are trying to like show, cause like it's a little like promotion before the fight. Like you show a little bit of like your skill. Yeah. And some people like totally make a joke of it. And some people like
for example, one fighter did it with his gloves on backwards, like
on purpose,
to be funny, but like he's a good fighter, Dean the Great. What were we talking about? Yeah, so he did his open workout and I was like, wow. And then and it's funny because like you're standing like ringside in this gym, small gym. Everyone's there. There's media, there's cameras, there's people doing interviews. Everyone's just watching you work out. And then also your opponent who you're about to fight on Saturday night is sitting there staring at you. So and just like commentating on every move. Like he was talking shit as I was jumping rope. He made fun of my bedazzled shoes and my bedazzled boxing shoes.
And I'm like standing right next to him. And like, I don't really care. And that's like one thing you have to realize is like some people think it's like, some crap talk in fighting, it's expected, and it's like it's not that serious, it's not that deep, just because it's like it's part of the sport, it's part of the game.
I mean, to be fair, nothing he really said was like hurtful, or you know what I'm saying, like in all the lead up to the fight, nothing he said was like hurtful or like that.
I don't think way too far out of line.
Yeah,
it wasn't out of line.
Nothing was really out of pocket. Like it was all fair
like
game.
He wasn't coming at you being like, you have the ugliest wife, she's a dog. And even if he did that, even if some fighter did that, that just says something about them. I don't even think you would be like, just look little on them.
That wouldn't offend me, but I might have to Will Smith them and slap them and repeat my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Okay, so that's the first time you guys had a face-off.
I wish I said that at the press conference so bad.
We'll get there. Let's talk about the face-off. You guys face off for the first time. You're interviewing. He's watching you interview, and then the interview goes, well, let's take this opportunity right now and like have you guys face off. And I was like, oh,
to be honest, I did a couple interviews there, and like I don't know why. Boy was feeling good. Boy was feeling a little spicy.
Yeah, you were.
I thought it was fun to like kind of roast his his football career. I said he rode the bench and he was going to ride the canvas in the boxing ring, which is the ground if you're not familiar with that.
But leading up, he had talked a little bit more crap, I think, on social media. We didn't really like post or like roast or anything like on social media.
Yeah, totally.
Joking about the fight.
And like
that's
I said,
normal.
That's fair game. I mean, that's nothing.
No.
Like I'm not hurting his feelings. Like whatever. It's just like a little shit talk. And
which you kind of have to also build up like hype for the fight.
So the interviewer, like Chase is literally standing like 3 feet away, pulls him in. And is like, all right, well, why don't we just have you guys face off right here and talk your smack right here? And I was like, all right. He walks up and I'm like, God dang, this boy big. This boy big.
You know,
like, holy shit.
You guys started like talking a little crap. And I think at first he almost seemed like he wasn't, I don't know if he was like talking crap.
Yeah, Loki kind of complimented me.
Well, he said something about your veins.
He said something about my big arms or whatever, which has nothing to do with fighting, but
yeah, he was like something about a roadmap with your veins or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. At first he kind of complimented you, but then he was kind of like roasting a little bit. You guys both were like poking fun. And then
that was nothing that too serious. He was just like, oh, I think he bit off more than he can chew, blah, blah, blah. And and I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even think I talked smack right there and then, but.
And so you guys just had a little smack talk. And then like after it seemed pretty like good, like he shook your hand. You guys both shook hands.
Yeah.
So you guys like were both like, all right. Yeah. And then you guys had like a face off and you guys had a long face off. And then you guys like both laughed after.
Dude, the face offs is the most awkward thing in fighting, but like in an enjoyable way. Like I embrace awkwardness. Like I enjoy it. And it's just funny when you think about it because like literally so many people are watching you guys.
Yeah.
And then you two are staring, soul gazing into each other's eyes.
It's so
thinking
awkward.
About beating the crap out of each other.
Like, and also, it also looks like you're going to kiss.
Yeah. Also like,
sus.
Okay. I don't think that part.
Everyone thinks that. It's like when your face is so close and it's like from an outside perspective, you're like, damn.
But like you're both like when the stakes aren't like very high, there was no like real beef there. Like we're both just sitting there trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Like or in my opinion, I'm just sitting there trying not to laugh. I'm just trying to hold it in.
Because you don't really have like too much like hate, I feel like in you. So it's like hard to find that. So it's like funny. It's like
I fight for competition for like the lifestyle of boxing is just so insane, and that's why we want to do this podcast is just talk about it. It's like it's just so crazy to think about. So like that's why I fight. I don't fight because I'm not an angry person. But and he even called me out on it. He's like, I see you want to laugh, and then we both like laughed and then dabbed each other up, and it was cool. Whatever. But
so
go ahead.
Okay, so before that, when we were in the hotel, I was going to get breakfast and I went in the elevator without Josh, and I was in the elevator and like all these guys were talking about something, and then they were like, oh, are you here for boxing? Or I said, I was like, oh, are you guys here for the fights? And they were like, oh yeah. And they were like, what about you? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, who are you here for? I was like, oh, my husband's fighting some like MTV or like reality show person, Chase. And they're like, Chase Demoor? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I was like, why are you here? And they're like, for Chase Demoor. And I was like, oh,
awkward. Cool. Cue the elevator music, dude.
I didn't care though. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, not like we have beef, like whatever.
No, it's not that deep.
And
can I mention?
Yeah.
Every one of that mother effer's friends are 6'5" or taller.
Well, because I think they were all like football or basketball players.
What the hell?
Yeah, they were pretty tall. There were some big dudes.
Every one of them was 6'5" or taller, no doubt.
And so let's just get to the good part, right? Okay, so open workout happens, like whatever. Let's cut to the good part, the press conference. This is where it all started. This is where all the tea, all the drama, everything.
Yeah, so press conferences are, again, another one of those things where it's like everyone's sitting there, the cameras are rolling, someone's gonna try to get spicy, someone's gonna talk their shit.
Because you have a whole crowd listening to you. They want to, it's like the alpha dog, like it's like the high school bully, like you said. It's like trying to embarrass the other person in front of other people.
That's literally what a press conference is.
But Josh is like not the worst. You're just like not that person normally.
That's not my vibe. Like I don't like. I don't.
Good
mind.
and witty, but it's
Yeah.
not like I don't know. I feel like you just don't have that like cocky personality.
For
to
me,
be, like,
actually,
too like douchey and talk over people and.
No, see, but the thing is, I don't know anything about the kid. Like I should have done. See, I never did homework in high school, and I didn't do my homework on
It
Chase
shows.
either until after the press conference. And then I started doing my homework, and there's so much funny stuff I could have roasted him about. But like, needless to say, it wasn't a big deal. But he came out swinging at the press
But
conference.
it also had nothing to do with fighting. So anyway,
Nothing.
what was like the first thing they asked you, or did they ask him? They asked you, I think.
No, say that. Yeah, they asked me like what I thought about him, and I just kind of said like I wasn't like that impressed. Blah blah blah. Like I hope he's been training hard. Like this is going to be a lot tougher fight than his last fight. And then he basically just went in total different direction and came out and was like, oh blah blah blah. Like I brought my shooters. Pointed all.
No. Don't ruin the story. You gotta say the story good.
That is it. He said, I brought all my shooters. You came with your girlfriend. And then he goes, you put makeup on YouTube videos and make cringy couple lovey-dovey stuff. You're no proposal after this one. And he was like, yeah, that's really what he said. And
Okay,
I was
so
like, what the hell does any of this have to do with boxing?
He comes out saying he's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not that impressed. Like your MMA career, like whatever. Like I saw a couple knockouts, couple proposes, couple
two
broken ankles. And then Josh goes, bro, that wasn't dirt biking. That wasn't dirt biking. And so like one of his like insults on Josh was that he broke his ankles. And Josh was like, I literally broke them dirt
my
biking.
ankles dirt biking, bro. What's that have to do with boxing?
Which had nothing to do with boxing, which I just thought was funny.
I think he was just trying to come at my existence, which kind of it seemed like which is fine because he doesn't have anything to say about my fighting.
But then he's like, man, whatever, bro. I don't care. I make more money than you. I have more followers than you. And Josh goes, my dog gets more likes than you, bro.
The thing is, I hate about press conferences or like bullies. Like I feel like it's kind of like the same scenario. It's just like basically like just the louder, more like aggressive person wins that scenario because there's no one like really stopping someone from talking over it. And like he was a louder guy than me. Like
screaming over you.
How am I gonna talk over this dude? And he's just gonna go blah blah blah. When I start talking, it's like I don't care. Like okay, you have 1.2 million followers on Instagram. You get 500 likes. My dog gets more likes on Instagram than you do.
He had 1 million followers. The next day after the press conference, he had 1.2 million
he went
followers.
and bought some followers. He goes down in followers every day. You can see it. And
which who
cares? Like this has nothing to do with fighting.
This has nothing to do with it. But it's like if you're gonna say something, you're going to respond.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what's annoying to me because at a press conference like that, it's like, oh, like people probably if you're watching that, you'd be like, oh, like what he said was true because like I'm not gonna sit there and debunk everything he said. Well, actually, your net worth is not even close to ours. Which he brought up in the weigh-ins as well.
Okay, wait. So
you don't.
I actually I haven't looked up our net worth in so long. And so
and this is also Google too. It's not even facts.
This is Google.
It's not even facts.
So I Googled his name and then I Googled JD Vlogs and our net worth was 9 times more than what his said. So I was like, where did he get this information? Like, and that doesn't matter. How does that help you in your boxing career?
It doesn't.
But like, don't be like, oh, I'm so much better. I make more money than you when like, first of all, you don't. Second of all, like, I just thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, you have more followers, but like who has like an audience, like a loyal audience?
And what's funny is he actually tried to roast our audience too.
For being young little girls.
And which like kind of, honestly, I feel like it just everything he said just reflected his own like insecurities, like the money thing. Like I think he's insecure because he probably knew ours was higher than his, but like, why does that matter? It doesn't.
That might matter to him.
The followers thing, yeah, he has more, but he knows we have a loyal audience, a real audience. We're not buying our followers.
Well, because you guys commented so much on his page,
all his
more than whatever fans he had. He's like, bro, I'm getting like wrecked on my page because he doesn't have an audience. And what I'm saying here is just like, he was trying to come at us for having young little girl audience, which first of all, even if every single one of you guys was 13 years old, what's that got to do with anything? Yeah.
It
You have
has
an audience.
nothing to do with
And
anything.
he's like, you just take money from kids. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like every person, we also like, we sell things, we bring value, I think, in anything that we ever sell.
That's how a business works.
Because that's how a business
wouldn't know
works.
that.
And I was like, I've read so many comments, like people of like not taking their lives, people of like getting out of depression, people losing weight, so many positive feedbacks of like what we've done in people's lives. So like for someone to say like, oh, you just take people's money, I'm like, it makes me question. I'm like, is that what he does? Like, is that what you do? Like on like, you know, whatever platforms like OnlyFans or whatever brand deals or things that he does.
That's the thing. Like I didn't do my research. I don't really know what he does. Like, and he also tried to come for me for, he was like, oh, I did it all by myself. Like you had to have a girl, like a couple channel. I'm like, okay, first of all, what does that mean? Second of all, you didn't do anything yourself. You just got on a Netflix TV show and you got pumped up from it. Like,
well, yeah, I was like, it takes one
what
thing.
did you do yourself? Like, what did you do that was so hardworking? Like you just literally got on an MTV show to be yourself, a douchebag.
Like to get,
and then got some followers from it.
To get like big on YouTube or to get an audience on YouTube, it takes so much dedication and work and passion. To get big off of something like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, or like an MTV show or like a Netflix show, it's like, you can't really be like, oh, it's so much harder working. Because I was like, I don't know, you almost got put on this platform. It's like you got put on something rather than you worked for something.
Island and hung out and got drunk
and probably talked to a whole bunch of girls.
What hard working was that? But yeah, I mean, whatever. And good for him for getting on that show.
And I don't care if there was like someone who was like who got big from something or like maybe they didn't work as hard for it. It's not about that. It's more so that he's like coming after us. And it's like, but that's not true. You can't really say that. And my favorite line, I don't know why, I just love that Josh goes, he's like, well, he goes, first, that's my wife. And then he goes, my dog gets more likes than you. And like, because he was trying to say like, he's so big. And I'm like, little old Topper has more engagement and more of a like people supporting a dog than like him.
Which again, like none of that matters in anything.
No,
but like when you're don't come for me for all this stuff. Like, it's not like I brought it up and then he was trying to clap back. Like, yeah, he brought it up.
He just, what he really was trying to do, I think he was trying to get like in your head by like bringing me up. And I think he thought that was like, it doesn't matter because I'm like one of the only girls there. There's a couple other girls there. And it's just saying like, I brought my shooters and you brought your wife.
And what's funny is like, he said he brought his shooters. Like, first of all, they don't fight for you on Saturday night. Second of all, you brought a whole posse of like 15 people because you're scared. And
you brought a security guard
because you're scared. I brought 3 of my teammates
and his wife,
2 of my teammates, my coach, and my wife because I do not care. I do not fear you.
He's a 6'5" dude who weighed more than you. And yeah, but anyway, it's just funny because it's like he's trying to roast for you having a loyal support team. And to me, I'm just like, yeah, I'm his wife, dude. What wife wouldn't come? Like who wouldn't like, and that's what even like your boxing coach is like, and then even like one of the girls who worked for DAZN, she's like, oh yeah, fighters always bring their wife. Like real fighters bring their family and their kids.
Hashtag
and their wife
where's
and
your that because
yeah, that was Joshy B's like
apparently
the
dude from inside sources has a girlfriend, but like claims to not have a girlfriend, and we happen to know the girl. But like just saying to you, if you're listening, you could do way better, girl.
That's where okay, but I want to talk about this because that's where I honestly like at first I was like, I don't want to bring up necessarily her name or anything because you guys probably know because we like her.
I was just asking where she was at because I was under the impression that was his girlfriend. I was like, did you not let her come? Are you scared to get beat up in front of her? Which maybe it's a good thing she didn't come.
But no, the thing that to me, and then when he goes, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm like, I feel bad for this girl listening to this, but I hope she sees that and realizes that she could do way better because that kid's never going to be what a girl would want. Maybe unless he has a total reevaluation of like, I'm like, that is not a loyal guy. That is not a nice guy. That's a guy who's like a little more obsessed with himself than he'll be. You know, I was like, and knowing that girl, I'm like, stay away from him. Like, please, like, do yourself a favor. But none of my business. You can do whatever you want.
And I mean, I usually, and it's not like I have no hard feelings towards the kids. Like,
no, I don't really
towards
care.
the kid. I honestly do not care whatsoever. But like, I'm usually give people the benefit of the doubt and everything. I was like, oh, maybe he just like plays this like hard guy online, blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, this kid is like very self-centered and douchey, but
whatever.
way to each their own. I mean, that's what got him his career with the Netflix show. So it worked.
But anyway, we're basically spending the whole week with his posse, his shooters, as he likes to call them.
Well, yeah, because, okay, let me explain at the hotel. So it's an Embassy Suites hotel. And like, it was literally like the center of the hotel is a lobby. And then there's no hallways. Like the floors go up and then surrounds by like rooms.
Basically, your entry of the hallway, everyone can see your doorway entry from the lobby.
So all the fighters are crossing paths at breakfast, like going in and out of the hotel.
You can
like
see where you go up the elevator. The elevator was a glass door. You could see, you could literally watch someone go from the lobby all the way up in the elevator, watch them to their door. So you knew where everyone was staying. You know every exact move. So it made it a little weird because of the hotel. But then also,
I think it was kind of interesting. It kind of made it fun.
I think it made it like interesting because you're like watching everything go down.
Right.
But so should we go to the fight now? Fight day?
Well, we got weigh-ins.
Weigh-ins.
Touch on the weigh-ins real quick. So weigh-ins, like I said, this was for a heavyweight title. To fight at heavyweight, you have to be above 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. You cannot be under.
And once you step on that scale, there's no going back. If Josh stepped on that scale and he weighed 195, 196, even 199.9, right?
Yeah.
Even if you weighed 199.9, you can't step off that scale, drink more water, and then step back on and fight.
Because people don't know about fighting is like it's licensed by the state commission. So the fight was in Texas. So like Texas rules, like the commission, they oversee everything. Like you're only allowed certain people in the back with you. They have to be licensed coaches, all of that. Like it's very official. And like same with this weigh-in, like that's why like the heavyweight fighting is such a big gap. Like usually weight classes is like 195 and like you weigh 195 or like 194. Like there's not a big weight gap, but for heavyweight it's a big gap. So your boy had to be above 200 pounds. And 30 minutes before the weigh-in took place, I ate Chipotle and drank a ton of water, and I stepped on the scale to check myself before the weigh-in started, and I weighed 196.
With just eating and drinking, we're all like, oh shoot.
I was nervous.
Dude,
and I was like, first of all,
sick to my stomach. I thought you weren't going to make it.
All our friends had just arrived. This is Friday in the afternoon. All our friends had just arrived.
Yep.
Our manager arrived. Family arrived. My whole team has been there all week. Katie's been there all week. I've been there all week. Chase has flown out and been there. And people are putting the show on. And I'm like, if I miss weight, like that's going to be no fight. And that's going to say a lot about me. Like
I literally was like, I was actually like irritated. So, but you didn't know this, but I was like, bro, I was like, did Josh not take this seriously? Like, how is he so far from weight?
I had said from the beginning, it's like, I'm not actually gaining weight to weigh 200 pounds.
Well, you kind of
all water weight. Like, so water weight in weight cutting or weight gaining is huge, as you're about to find out. I weighed 196 and in 30 minutes, I gained 11 pounds of water weight by chugging water till I was about to throw up, which don't recommend.
Which actually is very dangerous because people die that way.
Yeah, I mean, I did drink a lot of water. So when I stepped on that scale in front of the Texas officiant or whatever his name is, I weighed 207 pounds. I've never, ever weighed that much on a scale in my life.
All of our friends were like, because we're trying to figure out
a pregnant
the previous
water
people,
belly.
The previous like person, someone wore a watch in weigh-ins. Someone was wearing like rings, and I was like, "Can you wear jewelry?" I was figuring out all the rules, and I'm running back and forth from like our friends to Josh, and I'm like, "You can wear a watch." I'm like, "Wear a watch," and then I was like, "Does anyone have any jewelry?" And then his friend Manoli's like, "I have this heavy ring." I'm like, "Put it on just in case." I was
I put on anything, and then I also was told you had to weigh in your boxers, and then I saw a fighter weighing in their boxing trunks, which weigh more than boxers by a couple ounces. So I was like, "Babe, run up, get my boxing trunks." I put my boxing trunks on.
I ran up to the hotel, ran down, grabbed both pairs. So we had to figure out which one was heavier. So at this point, we're just trying to make weight. I'm so stressed. I'm like nervous. I'm like, did we just do all this for nothing? Because like, and I was like, he was so far off from weight, and I didn't know the water was really going to shoot you up that high.
Yeah, I mean, a liter of water weighs 2 pounds. But so anyway, I really didn't need to drink as much as I did, but there was no chance I was going to miss it, so I wanted to overshoot it.
And you didn't have a scale to keep checking, like make sure where you're at.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to check anymore. And while all this is going on, Chasey boy isn't even there.
He's not even there.
My guy showed up an hour and a half. Technically, we're supposed to be there an hour early, so he showed up 2.5 hours late to the weigh-in. And while he was showing up late, there was also a fight that broke out at the weigh-in. Dylan Dennis came.
Wait. It was your and Chase's turn and he's gone. And I'm like, oh my God, he missed. I was like, he's backing out of the fight. I was like, he has to.
I thought he was going to back out
Who
of the
doesn't
fight
show
too.
up who doesn't show up on time?
When you're staying at the hotel, you
Like
literally are
just
staying
walk
there.
down the lobby.
Walk
like
down.
And so Josh is like, they're like, okay, we're going to put you off to the side, Josh. Like, we're going to do you last.
I was like, absolutely
Josh, like,
not.
no, I'm going to, no.
Well, I was about to throw up and piss myself. And if I did either of those, I would not have made weight. And there was no way I would be able to chug enough water to get back to it. So I was like, I'm going to weigh in now. It's my turn. It can be official. The Texas Commission guy can look at it. See, I weighed that. I'm going to go piss after. Probably throw up. And then I'll come back and we can do a face-off when Chasey Boy decides to show up.
So anyway, we see him and I'm like, oh, after you weigh in, I'm like, oh, he's outside. And he wasn't coming in. We were very confused why he wasn't coming in.
He needed a security guard because I'm a big scary guy.
So he had a security guard because I think his last press conference, he got he flicked someone and then they
got punched
him
in the face. He deserved it.
because he flicked someone or something like that.
He
and
hit
then,
the guy first.
So he didn't want to come in without a security guard. And that was like the problem of what was going on, which whatever. And so while we're waiting for him to come in, a fight breaks out. Dylan Dennis walks right by. He says what he looked at you and he said, what up? And you didn't even say, I was like, Josh, that's Dylan Dennis.
I have never seen him in person. I had no idea who he was.
And then I was, a couple of your friends were like, I was like, oh, that's Dylan Dennis. I'm pretty sure.
Walks up to KSI, start beefing, chucks a coffee at his face and runs out. Fight breaks out in the hotel. Everybody runs out of the way-in.
We are in the smallest room possible. As soon as fight breaks out, we got thrown back into cameras and stuff, and we were just trying to get out of the way because everyone's running, rushing. It was pretty wild.
And then he ended up getting punched in the parking lot. All I can say is if I was a bystander at that hotel, I probably would have left.
I would have been like, what is going on?
Is happening?
So Dylan Dennis ran out of the hotel. Some other dude that we were talking to during the week who's there for someone else.
He's a fighter.
He
ran out and cracked him in the face.
And just punched Dylan Dennis in the face. And then that was pretty wild.
This is all on YouTube, social media. You can go check it out if you want.
Then they come back to Josh's press conference. Everyone already left because they all ran out from the fight.
Right. It's literally at this point just me and Chase in there. The live stream for DAZN had ended because he was so late. And then we just squared off. And again, during the square off,
you guys were up close. He was talking a lot.
To be fair, actually, I brought up money this time because I'm curious. When it comes to fighting, I'm like, first of all, I said to him, I was like, yo, don't be late to the fight tomorrow. And he goes, ho, what are you going to do if I don't show up? And I was like, well, you're going to lose your money. And he goes, I don't care. And I'm like, well, what are you fighting for? Clearly it's got to be for money. Cause you obviously what else are you fighting for? He's like, what are you fighting for? And I'm like, I love to fight.
He's like, I love to fight. I was a fighter before any of this.
He again went into, I have a way higher net worth than you. I own houses and boats.
And you're like, what do you own? What do you own? I'm like,
okay, bro.
It was just stupid. And then anyway, fight day. I'm so nervous, and I'm not nervous. I'm nervous and confident fight day because I'm like,
can we hold on right now? We gotta express how Katie B wanted to earn her little shout out.
No, it wasn't about that.
I know. I'm gonna. It's a joke, but okay. So all fight camp long, I joke with Katie B every night. I'm like, babe, give me a massage, just real quick, and
I make him smoothies.
She won't do it. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm not shouting you out after the fight. This is literally just a joke. But come night before the fight, and this girl puts on some spa music and literally puts a cloth over my eyes and gives me a full-blown 45-minute massage. I was like, holy shit, who are you?
Can I explain?
She's earning her shout out right now. Really wants it.
No, can I explain? So we're about to go to bed. It's night before the fight. The big fight's tomorrow. I'm thinking about the fight and my heart's racing. And we have to go to bed early because Josh needs a lot of sleep before the fight. I'm like, I can't sleep. I was my anxiety, and I don't even have anxiety, but I was my anxiety is through the freaking roof.
Katie gets way more nervous for this stuff than I do.
Because I love him. And
even at the press conference, I could see it in her face how nervous she was. And as I'm standing up there with cameras on me, face to face with the guy that I'm about to fight. And I look over her and she's the nervous one. I'm like, what's wrong?
Because I don't like public confrontation. I don't mind confrontation one-on-one, but public confrontation, and it doesn't bother me. Like nothing he could say could really hurt my feelings. I'm more so like, I'm like, say the right thing, Josh, like clap back. I'm like, stand up, because I get so like fired up about it. Like I'm not actually mad or upset, but like if he says something, when he was like, oh, I'll take your YouTube plaque, because Josh bet our YouTube plaque.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I did bet the YouTube plaque.
And he was like, oh, I'm going to be playing Frisbee with it. I'm going to write my hand in the most ghetto handwriting. And I'm going to take, like, basically being super disrespectful. And like, I was like, oh my God, he bet the YouTube plaque.
What's funny is he's like, bet the YouTube plaque. And without even thinking, I was like, bet. Shook his hand. And I was like, wait, what are you offering? Like, you don't like, got shit to offer, my dude.
It's like, you have to offer something. And
that's
anyway,
how betting works.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, we have 4 plaques. I was like, which one do you want? Like, I'm like trying to like, I'm like, give me a mic.
Which we actually have 6, but so we have plenty we could have donated to him.
I would never, but like, you wouldn't bet unless you knew. And even that, like,
I'm a man of my word. If I lost, I would have shipped him a plaque.
But not if you had nothing to bet. What's a bet if it's like, hey, bro, if I win, you give me $1 million, but if I lose, nothing. That's not a bet.
I wasn't going to lose, so it didn't matter.
No, but what I'm saying is like, still a bet is a bet. Like you have to make a legit
Well, the
bet.
kid has nothing to offer. I don't want anything he has.
No. And anyway, besides that whole thing that happened, and I was like, okay, that was stupid. And he's like, I won't feel bad when I'm playing Frisbee with him. I'm like,
okay, back to you massaging me for your shout out.
So my heart's through the roof. The fight day's tomorrow. I'm just getting really like nervous, excited, like all the emotions. And I'm like, dude, how is Joshy B just gonna like go to bed calm? Because I can't even go to bed. So I felt really bad for you, because I was like, I don't want to like move while I'm sleeping. I don't want to like disturb your sleep. And I'm like, I feel wide awake right now. Like I can't go to bed. So I was like, okay. I like put on some spa music, gave you a like 40-minute full body massage. Front, like had you lay on your back and your stomach. Like I gave you a full body massage.
Like
got the lotion out, feet and all, nasty big toe and all. Like I went.
I was like, wow. I was like, she really does love me.
And
she really does love me.
I wanted, because I felt like I was like, this is a big day.
I'm not gonna lie though, that was pretty nice. Like that might have been the difference.
That's your love language. 100% is physical touch, and you feel so relaxed after massages, and it helps. Like I feel like it just would help you sleep. So I knew that it would help, and I was like, I'm not tired. I want to help out. Like,
no, that was cool.
And
she did earn
that right there.
Out.
Listen, all you fighters, listen up. That right there is why you bring your wife and not your shooters. What shooters are gonna be rubbing Chasey Boy's feet? None of y'all. None of y'all getting him ready for his fight. But you know what you are doing? You're taking him to the little recovery room and rubbing his little face up after my husband kicked his butt. That's my shit talking. I'm not really a shit talker.
Yeah, she's not good. The whole week, Katie, like we'd go back to the hotel room and she'd be like, oh, like,
I'm like, babe.
When he said that, you should have said this. And I'm like, babe, if I would have said that, like,
I would have been roasted.
Everyone would have looked at me and laughed. Like, that was not good.
I'm like, babe, you know what you should have said?
Like,
and then I'll say it and I'm like, well, maybe that sounded better in my head.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you just keep them to yourself.
That's why I get nervous for press conferences, because I'm like, I don't know what I would say.
Yeah, that would be my only change. Like next fight week you come to, like just keep your advice for shit talking to yourself, please.
I feel like you loved it though.
No.
It was entertaining.
Keep it to yourself.
I'm like, you should tell him that this. And he was like, oh, okay, good one.
Yeah, fight day. We wake up.
Dude,
got some breakfast. It's just another
fight
day.
No, but fight day is so weird. Fight day is so weird because
day.
It's like you can't do much. You can't be too like excited, crazy, talking to your friends. Like you can't really be lively.
You got to keep the vibes like not too low, not too high, like right in the middle. You know,
like
it's
chill.
Like, you don't want to be. Well, I did take a nap fight day, but you don't want to be like too hyped, too stoked. Like you got to save the stoke for the right time, and you just got to time it.
You gotta save your energy.
And
so like, as for a girlfriend.
Wife,
Chase Demoor, girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding. As for like being a wife or a girlfriend or a fiance of like a fighter, someone who's there, it's like you kind of not walk around eggshells, but like you don't want to say anything to throw them off. You do not fight with them, which I wasn't worried about that, but you don't want to say anything that's going to upset them. Like you don't want to say anything really about the fight.
Like here would be like some key things never to say. It was like, oh my God, are you nervous?
Don't get knocked out.
Yeah, don't get knocked out. Like stupid.
He's a big
shit
guy,
that.
or like putting any doubt in his head.
Like any doubt.
So to
don't
be honest,
ever bring doubt.
Like, I didn't really talk to you much during the day. Like, I was just next to you. I didn't really say anything.
Which is fine. Like, I like to kind of vibe. Like, I hung out. We hung out with our friends a little bit. We grabbed coffee, and then we kicked at the hotel room in the lobby on these couches.
We didn't really
just
do-
talk to people. Just was on our phone, and then like eventually I went upstairs. I had lunch, and I took a nap.
I left the room because I was like, it's the middle of the day. I can't nap.
And then I woke up feeling good.
Yeah, Josh took a
it's
nap.
time to go.
I went out, hung out with my friends, and we were just like talking. And Josh has to get in the zone and do his thing.
There's one thing people don't realize though. It's like when you're fighting, it's not like that's the first time you fought. Like every week leading up to a fight, I'm sparring, which is practice fighting, but like you're still fighting, still punching each other, 2 to 3 times that week. So we're doing that, and we're doing it way more extreme, like longer rounds, more time. Like it's honestly harder. Like the fight training to lead up to a fight is harder than the fight, it should be harder than the fight.
The reason people don't think that you really do spar or people spar before is because fighters don't show that on social media normally because they don't want to give away what they're learning.
You're not trying to scare them away.
You're not trying to, or you're not really trying to share them anything that you've been working on, like any new drills, any like head movements.
I was very hesitant on posting like this entire any fight footage or training footage of myself or workout footage. Like I stopped posting any Instagram stories of me working out or anything because I just feel every time my opponent's back out, and I didn't want it to look like I was training like a savage or anything, and then like him back out.
Yeah, you don't want people to know really. You kind of got to like work in silence. And
but
so,
now, after like it's been 3 years, like we back in the game now. Like
they have your fight footage out there anyway.
Yeah, they like people can't duck anymore. Like we back in the game. And so yeah, we're gonna be fighting. But fight day.
So fight day leads up. We have, first of all, Josh B had 3 tickets for the fight, and somehow made 3 tickets turn into like 20 or something.
Yeah, I ended up finessing like 20 free tickets for the homies, the family, the friends.
We get like, as Joshy B leaves, I say goodbye to him, whatever. He goes to the arena himself. Then all of our friends are getting ready and we're about to go. And what?
Well, I'm just listening.
I thought you were going to say something because you look like you're going to take off your headphones.
I was just adjusting it.
And so we're getting ready. I'm getting ready for the fight. I'm like so nervous at this point. I'm handing out all our friends a tickets and we're a ticket short. I'm like, bro, how did this happen? How did we lose a ticket? And so anyway, like I'm stressed, like trying to buy a ticket, whatever. We end up figuring it out. We get in. Our whole squad's there. And this is what's so funny is because like since Chase made fun of like him having shooters and Josh having his wife, little did he know that like 20 people, like a whole squad, like all your friends, like your closest people were coming.
The homies always show out. I mean, they were coming. Sorry, like my boys got work. Like they're not taking off the whole week unless like they had to. And it was kind of last minute thing. So
yeah, they could like they couldn't be there all week long. But anyway, so we show up in a squad, and so we're watching all the fights go down. I'm like nervous. Joshy B is about to fight. Like there's just so much going on. I'm talking to like all our family and friends, and so we're like, oh, where's like Chase's like posse? Like where are his people? Because one of our friends wanted to bet him on Josh because he like does sports betting sometimes, and he's like, bro, I want to bet on my boy. Like it makes it so much more fun for him. So he was
trying
like,
to get that easy money. That's why he was trying to bet on me. What do you mean?
Yeah. So he was like looking around for any of his friends. I was like, I don't see any of them. And then you're about to walk out and Chase's people walk out in front of us. They're literally sitting right next to us, which normally like I don't think they normally put like the families on the same side.
So technically
either.
with like fighting, you would never put like the families or like when you separate the tickets, like because the company gives us the tickets. Like you would separate fighters tickets because like obviously there's going to be family drama, whatever beef, like
you're screaming for the other
fighting,
person.
you know, you're screaming like knock him out, punch him here, do this, like, and then people get like weird about it. Like there's always altercations like that during fights. But yeah, apparently not apparently, I saw it.
No,
they were sitting right next to each other, which was awesome.
So Ricky, I guess it doesn't really matter. One of our friends goes up and he asked.
He was just trying to bet the guy.
He was just trying to bet, and he's like, "Oh, like
just a
will
friendly
you bet?"
wager.
Like, he's like, "Hey, will you bet on your boy?" And then he's like, "I'll bet you $1,000." And then it got all the way up to apparently like $25,000.
They were just throwing money.
They were trying to talk, and the guy goes. He basically didn't want to say no. He's not going to bet him.
He said, "Bet your life."
He goes, "Why don't you bet your life?"
Like, and I'm like, the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Bet your life. And he's like, no, bro, like, let's just bet. And he's like, bet your life. Like, wait, what? What do you mean bet your life? Like, what are you going to kill him if he loses? Like, what does that even mean? And so anyway, he starts getting so mad because we're chanting, we're hollering. We're like,
when you
let's go, Josh, like F him up. Like, not like, we're just like hype. Like, you know, it's sporting. And we're like, let's go. We're like, let's go. And then they're like, where's your girlfriend? Like all like the chirping because he chirped us so hard the whole week. And now Josh's squad was there, fired up, ready to go.
My boys, yeah, they get hype and like they're fire at talking shit. Like this is competition. This is sports. Like that's what, if you would go to any football game, it's called hackling. Like that's what people do. Like teams do it. Like same thing happens in fights, except the other team usually gets very salty when they lose because you just lost a fight instead of a football game. And even football teams get salty too. But like, yeah, his boys, they took it a little to heart.
Round 2, we're chanting. We're like, why so quiet?
Yeah, because his shooters weren't saying nothing.
Because he talked so big about his shooter, his posse, and our whole posse's there. And
this is a simple definition: all bark, no bite.
So anyway, whatever. Like we don't hate Chase's people. We don't hate Chase. We don't really care. But they're like talking crap. It's sporting. Like that's what it is. And so he starts going back and he's like, "Shut your pussy ass up." Like that's what he said to us, and we're like, what? Okay, like whatever, chill. Like, bro, chill. But then he's like hollering, and then like they were all like between some of our friends and their people like hollering back and forth at each other. Then I tell our friends, I'm like, yo guys, chill. I don't want this to distract Josh from the fight because I didn't want like an actual fight to break out or anyone to get kicked out or anything. True. And so I was trying to keep it down a little bit because I'm like, look, the last thing we need is like for someone not to get like Josh to look over because like we're distracting him from his fight. He needs to be focused on the fight. And I don't think you really could hear any of it, but it was loud. So like they're all
dancing for sure.
No, but I mean like the brawling, like all that, like what was like going on, like.
No, I was focused.
So one of our friends is yelling at him. He stands up. So anyway, like Josh wins, right? And so we kind of at this point, I don't think we were really like chanting anymore, or we're just like it was like why so quiet or something like that. Like we weren't like at this point like F Chase or anything like that. Like we didn't. It's the fight's over.
They were just chanting and his guys got salty and we're telling them to shut the hell up, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm sorry, you're at a sporting event. We can say whatever we want. Like,
and so one of our friends like stand up and he's like, are you going to pay me? Cause apparently like they bet on it. He's like, where's my money? Like, are you going to pay them? And then someone's like, pay them up. And they're mad cause their friend just lost. They just lost a bet. And so our friend stands up on a chair and he's like, well, where are you going to pay me? So a security guard kicks our friend out. Our friend comes back within 2 minutes.
Finesse his way back in. Super easy.
He finessed his way. Can I sit? Or
he just paid the security guard to let him back in. I mean,
he paid the security guard.
That's simple.
Because I'm like, oh my God, how'd you get back in? He goes, oh, I just paid the guy. I'm like, what? Is that easy?
It is that easy.
I was like, what the heck? And anyway, then we're all like, okay, like we're all excited. Like Josh just won. We're not even like chanting or talking to anyone or nothing's really going on. Josh texts me because I'm like, he texts me. He's like, love you. Watch your back.
Well, I was just saying, like, I'll give you guys my side of the night because it's very different. Yeah. Very different. But I was just saying because we walked back and, like, usually, like, after a fight, like, there's no beef. It's like, oh, like, hope everything's okay. Like
all the crap
thanks for accepting the fight, blah, blah, blah. Like, so his teammate was, like, standing in front of his door. Like, I was like, oh, like, you know, good fight, whatever. And he's like, nah, and it's not cool. And I'm like, what? And he's like, nah, man, your team took it too far. I was like, my team's standing right here. What did they say? And he's like, no, your team out there. I'm like, those are my friends, but like, this is my team right here. What did they say to you? And he's like, nah, they just took it too far. And like, I kept trying to get it out of him, like what they said, and he wouldn't say it. And he's like, nah, like they're going to get shot. Like basically saying like they were going to kill my friends. I was like, yo, bro, chill. Like, I was like, it's not that serious. I guarantee they didn't say anything like to get shot over, you know? And mind you, 100% all talk what these guys were saying. Like 100%. Like,
but we don't know them. Like,
but yeah, I mean, better be safe than sorry. And then it was like,
so Josh is just like, watch your back. Our friend Jeremy goes back there trying to cool everything off.
When I said watch your back though, I meant like, just like look out, like these guys might try to approach you in the crowd. And not Katie. I mean like my guy friends out there, like they might try to approach you in the crowd. Like I don't think
So
they're gonna actually do anything, but just look out.
our friend goes there. He's trying to like calm like them down too. Be like, hey, bro, like my bad. Like we're just like chanting, like no hard feelings. Like basically, like it's not.
This is actually
like,
such a
Hope
weird
Chase is okay.
coincidence.
Like Hope he's okay.
During this podcast, so someone just texted me and was like, "Oh, did you see Chase's story? He actually said nice things about you." I was like, "What?"
I honestly, the thing is like I do have respect for Chase for stepping in the ring. Anyone who's fighting, they get respect. Like I'm not doing that.
No, 100%. I mean, I give the guy respect,
I don't even,
no doubt.
I don't even hate the guy. I don't even hate his friends. But like we're chanting back and forth. They're chanting too. Like they're all acting like all hard and cool.
This is just fighting. This is what happens. This is how it goes.
Saying that they're gonna beat us up, and then they threatening to shoot us. Which, first of all, that's not something you like threaten ever.
It's just all talk. I mean, people say shit they don't mean, but
people say that and then they actually do it too.
True,
so that's where you don't know.
Sorry.
And so anyway, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, bro, it's not that deep. Like, what is going on? So I'm like kind of tripping. And so we obviously had to tell like at least like the security people were like, hey, this has just been said. I just want you guys to be aware in case they come back here or something. If you see anything, like
I was just telling the security, I was like, yo, if those guys try to fight my friends, like look out for it.
Yeah. And
you can't miss them. They're like 6'7".
But Jeremy comes back. He's like, bro, it's not good. Like they're threatening to like shoot us and stuff. And the thing is, that's weird is they know exactly where our hotel room is.
That's the only weird thing. That's why like you don't usually keep fighters in the same hotel because like after the fact, it's like, okay, like now we're all going back to the same place. We're literally going to cross paths together. That's where it was.
They were acting like a far line was crossed. And I'm like, what was said?
I thought like something like, you can't come back from was said. And I go out there and ask my friends and like, no, we were just trying to battle and like, and we were just chanting like the normal things like you would chant at a fight. And I'm like, oh, whatever. Like after they told me that, I was like, oh, I mean, no one's going to shoot you over that. That would be stupid.
I would hope not.
But
anyway, so we had a police escort just in case. Cause I was like, I don't want a fight to break out because we have a ton of girls. We have all our friends. I'm like, my mom's there, my aunt's there, my sister's there, my dad's there. I don't want my dad getting punched. I don't want my mom getting punched.
Right, we got a
I don't want my best friend getting punched.
Here.
Like, I don't even want my guy friends getting punched. Like, even though we had more people, it's like,
look,
no one needs to get in a fight. That's not our friend group is a very nice friend group. Like we're talking crap to their friends. Like that's normal.
No,
like
the fight takes place in the ring. Like we're not trying to street fight. Like why?
No.
Who wants to do that? Like that's stupid. Then we all go to jail.
All of our friends were like, hey, like Hope Chase is okay. Anyway, the guy's back at the hotel and well, let's get to that. You can tell that side.
I didn't even give my insight on the fight on fight night. So we'll dive into it real quick, just real fast. Well, first of all, your boy was the only person to get drug tested, which is normal because they always randomly select one person, I think, or maybe two.
So you're not on steroids. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what they test for, but basically a guy just had to watch me piss. So that was fun. That's how my night started.
Did he hold it?
He did. No, Catherine, stop. But yeah, and then what else really was there? I don't think.
How are you feeling walkout?
A big thing for me was Face Temper was in my locker room with me and he got like a 10-second knockout and I was like, bet. And he comes back in the room and he's all stoked and hype. And he's like, hey, you're next, bro. You got this, blah, blah, blah. And like, so the vibes were good from there on. I was like, let's go. And that was hype. What else happened? I had a fire fit. Can we talk about it?
I thought it was pretty fire.
The colors were a little off than what I had expected, but I literally got it the day before the fight, so I just had to work with it.
With the stadium lights, I think it looked better.
Yeah, with this stadium lights, though, it looked pretty sweet, and I thought it was cool. And that's the first time I've ever had a custom boxing fit made.
Your last one was that?
That's like this was like designer custom. Like
that's cool.
Guy makes it hand painted. Like
I thought it was fun. It was cool. It's like it makes it fun. Yeah, it's a fun part of fighting.
What else happened? I mean, the fight was cool.
How were you feeling walking out? Like, were you nervous? My stomach was like
the nerves for me.
Hurting. I felt like I was gonna throw up.
The nerves for me are like all before the fight. Like once it's like walking out and stuff, it's just like game time, you know. And honestly, for me, like you get in the ring, like the fight doesn't start for me like until like you get punched in the face, and then you're like right there. It's like two things happen, like fight or flight, and it's like
let's go.
Boom, we're fighting. Like let's do it.
Yeah.
So I did avoid the glove touch in the middle. So they bring like for championship fights into the middle of the ring. The ref like announces like the rules. It's like blah, blah, blah. And then he's like touch gloves, make it official. And That dude didn't shake my hand at the press conference. He did like one of those old school like sixth grader
this?
moves where like
That
you
to
go
me-
to shake someone's hand and then like you comb your hair instead. Like I was like, what the hell? I can't believe he did that to me. So at the fight, I was like, bet. And instead of touching his gloves, I just walked away, and it was pretty funny actually, because he literally just standing there with his hands out like to be knuckle touched.
I did not.
And no one did it.
I didn't think he saw that coming just because his was just like.
But after, like, I think it worked. Like, fighting is such a mental game. Like, he literally came out like trying to take my head off.
Oh, he was mad.
Which is not how you want to box.
Yeah. But
yeah, at first, I'm not gonna lie.
You're not like the normal to like not knuckle tuck because
no,
no.
I always like dab people up and stuff. Like I'm super cool, like respectful in sports. But like it was just a little mental play on it. And then I'm not gonna lie, I watched his first fight he ever had, and like he came out and his punches like seemed a little bit better than that.
From what I was like, this is more of a fight than I thought it was going to be at first, because he was just swinging. I'm like, he's a big guy. Like he's 230,
45 pound weight difference.
Like he's big. And like if you land even an awkward, ugly, unathletic punch,
that's the thing with fighting is like anyone can get knocked out. It doesn't matter who you are. Like that's the risk you take when you fight, and that's what you signed for.
Yeah. And so that's why the first round I was a little nervous, because I was like, oh, I thought it was a touchdown.
I knew it was going to be an awkward fight, and like it literally started like that from the beginning. Like the way he would throw his punches were very weird, and he was just heavy. Like you would slip a punch and then he would just lay on you. And
I think it was almost hard. It was
just
for
weird.
You. It looked like it was like hard for you to like properly box, because like when you box, and I've seen like sparring footage of like other people who are like boxers, it looks so much cleaner, and it's like almost hard not to like start punching like how they'll punch sometimes. And like, but I read so many comments that like Josh was so good with like jabbing high low, slipping punches, and like working combos.
Yeah, I was trying to actually box,
because everyone was like, this is such an awkward like fighter
opponent. Yeah, he's super weird. Like I've never seen punches come from the angles that he was throwing them, windmills and all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys haven't seen, yeah, he's had plenty of TikToks and reels made of him roasting him and his boxing technique.
Which, you know what?
Which it was okay in the beginning, but after he ate a few punches, it got very wild. And I think a little bit of it, I mean, he could have been rocked. Like obviously he was hurt. Like a couple punches would land and like you'd see his legs kind of quiver. And
one of them, I think, where he was like punching the air, the one that kind of been going viral.
Yeah, he was seeing three of me. 100%.
He was rocked because he was like punching.
He had to have been
air.
seeing three people.
And I'm just like, it's crazy that you could do that to someone that was so much bigger than you. And I think you did so good on that fight, but it was like nerve wracking, because I'm like, anything can go down in this fight. But it kind of made me sad that like I was like a little irritated that he like spit out his like mouth guard, or he said it like fell, which everyone knew he spit it out.
Oh, that's
he was taking his break.
Yeah,
like,
that's just a move. People like spit out their mouth guards to get like extra rest time.
Because
it's, like,
they had to like pause and put it in.
Amateur move, but
and so they put it back in, and like bro he looked shook. Like those like TikToks and stuff of him, his face, like, oh my god.
Yeah, he also tried to claim like I hit him in the back of the head, which is illegal in boxing, but A, he hit me in the back of the head probably like 6 times, and B,
well, what you said he kept doing is and I watched, he like put his arm over you and like pull his elbow back on your head.
Yeah, whatever. But and B, I didn't hit him in the back of the head.
It doesn't matter. It's very.
That's why the
clear.
ref said, "Are you gonna quit or keep fighting?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'll keep fighting." Like,
yeah. Which
if I hit him in the back of the head, the ref would have said, like, "Nah, you can't do that."
Yeah, which respect for keep fighting, because I don't think he wanted to keep fighting. It looked like
no, he didn't. That's
like
why he was
like,
saying that. Like he was trying to find a way out. It's easy in fighting. Like you can tell the minute someone quits. Like you can literally see it in their face and like body mannerisms and everything. And it was like so obvious. So like right there and then I knew I had him. And then like that round ended and he never got off the stool.
Do you wish he would have got for the third round?
Absolutely, he would have got like it would have been a highlight reel knockout. Which what I wanted to get so bad. And like that was a game plan from the beginning. Like the plan was never to knock him out in round 1. Like he's a big kid. Like I don't think I have superhuman powers. Like
no.
Yeah, sure, it could have happened, but the plan was to go into like the third round. And obviously he would have got boxed. He probably would have been hurt, which he was, and he would have been tired, and then we land a big shot.
Yeah.
You know, high low, touch the body, land a big shot up top.
For as a girl speaking, for his brain and safety, even though that would be really cool. I guess it's better for him that he didn't get.
Yeah, I mean, he was clearly very hurt. I mean, his boys had to carry him all the way back to the locker room.
I saw a TikTok of him saying he like wasn't touched and he's like fine. But like my dad has a video of him walking out.
No, like the ambulance they were trying to take him out on a stretcher, like to get looked at, like medically. Like there's no way
he wasn't even walking. His friends
fine.
were holding him up, and he was like looking like every direction. And like, I mean, it was a good fight. Like, I don't know, not even like disrespect to him, but it's like you can't really say like, oh, you didn't get touched. Like, even
but the thing is,
it doesn't
like,
matter if you got touched.
The thing is though, like, and I will say this, like, I do respect anyone that gets in the ring. It takes confidence and balls, but at the same time, like, be smart. Like, you know, like respect yourself and like don't get better training or whatever.
Well, that's kind of
is, or train harder. I mean, you know what you signed up for. Like, train harder, take it more seriously.
You're fighting. Don't make a joke of fighting. Make it like, it's not like, that's the one thing with influencer boxing is sometimes it's like, I respect the influencers who are getting there and actually like working and like not just trying to make like a joke of it.
There's a couple,
it's a sport.
Yeah, there's a couple that aren't like about it, but there's a good majority now that like are actually taking training very seriously.
And those are the
like,
good fights.
They look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the main event was sick. And even King Kenny looked really good. Face Temper looked really good. There's a couple other ones out. Like they're not even boxers, but like they looked all right.
Yeah. I thought the whole fight card was it was a good fight card.
It was entertaining.
It was better than
the Coco main event was sick.
That was
obviously that was a real boxer.
That card was way more interesting than that like Taylor Holder, Austin McBroom, like whatever.
Social Gloves one.
That Social Gloves one was, in my opinion, we were watching. I was like, no one's even fighting. Like
that was one where it looked
stupid.
like you just put on fights in your backyard. I would say.
And like this was at least I was like all of those like influencers and stuff like they legit like were swinging at each other. Even if it wasn't the cleanest punches, it's still entertaining and good. But
okay, we do have a couple more to touch on. This is going to be a longer podcast. I believe we're already like an hour in.
How far are we in?
I want to get into so we talked about our friends fighting, and when we got back to the hotel, it continued. But first, we rode the party bus back to the hotel, right? And at our hotel, there was an overhang where cars could pull up and like pick people up. And our party bus crashed into it. The top of the party bus smashed into it, and we step outside the party bus and it's spewing out smoke.
Mind you, we're all a little nervous to go back to the hotel after just being threatened to be shot.
We all, meaning like
the girls
and the girls.
Well, the girls and a couple of the guys were kind of like, well, who threatens that? Like who says that?
Yeah, I mean we are in Texas.
In Texas, you never know. But the thing is like, we don't know them. I don't know. Like people do that. They probably aren't likely, but I'm like, I'm not taking a chance of that. Like, come on.
But yeah, our party bus crashed and the driver literally didn't he just backed it up, didn't make any like comment or anything, walks out. I was like, yo, can we get a new bus? And he's like, nah, it's just the AC. You guys will be fine. Because it was like cold there. So.
I thought Chase and his like boys or someone like literally smashed their car into us. Cause I never would have thought a driver just like, crash into
I would have never thought that.
Well, I don't know. I was just like, what just happened? What? Like we all like fell out on the party bus. And so
her mom like almost went she fell, but thank God someone caught her. She would have gone flying
our friend
through the
Justin,
window.
She was trying to go out first and he like sat her down. And if he wouldn't have done that, she would have probably like actually had to go to the hospital. It would have been bad.
But let's sum it up a little bit. So yeah, we get back and his boy that was arguing with our boy was standing right there and we're like, hey, like we don't want to have any problems tonight. We're all staying in the same hotel. Like we're sorry if whatever we said offended you. Like let's just be cool. He's like, yeah, man, it's whatever. And like he wasn't accepting it at first and then finally accepted it, squashed the beef, everyone dabbed up. Party time.
Oh yeah,
party time.
So we all go change, we get in comfier clothes, we head out on the party bus and we go to a club, and it was really fun because we had a promoter. They got us like free bottle service and like it was just such good vibes, and all of our family and friends went. My dad even went to the club with us. It was really fun.
The boys were taking shots off the belt. It was so funny.
It was a great night.
Yeah, we just danced, had a good time, and
it's just fun to be with all like I loved it because I'm like, our Michigan friends,
it's just
our Arizona
all
friends,
our Michigan friends from Arizona that can make it. Like we're all like in a different state, like enjoying life, celebrating, and like it's just like a fun way to. I love how it brings people together. It's like so exciting, and a little somebody went too hard.
Who?
Little Noah boy.
Oh,
on
our
the
friend
party
Noah.
bus. Shout out to his girlfriend, Mercedes. She finessed that garbage can so quick. So we're on the party bus driving back. He wore these sunglasses that was so funny all night long.
So they were my sunglasses. I have like these like knockoff Kim K ones. They're like the Balenciaga knockoffs. They're like $10 on Amazon. And I brought them to the fight and I was like, Noah, are you going to wear these? And Noah wore them the entire time. He looked like an influencer or some celebrity with them on. Yep. And he wore them the entire night. And Josh was pouring so many shots to him, and then some like random like person got him a drink, and he's like, I don't know what happened, and out of nowhere he's not feeling good, and he's like,
He just had a lot to drink.
He's like, I've never done that.
He was throwing up on the party bus, and his girl was holding, not holding his hair, but like, you know, holding the garbage can for him. It was
she's
just
like
funny.
dancing.
She was dancing while holding a garbage
can, and then like her friends like in my aunt's lap, like laying down. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is such a weird night.
This is like 3:30 in the morning.
One thing I do want to backtrack on the fight is your speech was so good. Like you talked so collective, like cool, calm, and collective. And I was like, dude, I would never. I would be like, I don't know, bro. I'm tired. I just won. And yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I was saying don't grab this part because that's what captures the sound. You keep
I thought you were trying to tell me something low key. I'm like, bro, you know we're being
I signaled
filmed.
to Katie B. I was like, yo, don't grab this because he keeps grabbing. I don't know if it's gonna make a weird sound. Every time you touch that,
you're right.
But it might. So if it sounds weird, sorry guys.
But he had his little speech. He shouted me out, which he should have.
Had to shout out the wifey. Shout out little Rago, the little fighter out there battling cancer. You know, had to shout her out.
When you shouted her out, I was like crying. I was like, it was just so cute. I don't know, because I wasn't sure if you were going to do it. I didn't know like what you would say. I literally had no idea. And I thought it was really cool and like really, I don't know, just you carry yourself really well.
Thank you, babe.
And you're not like
I'm not a public speaker. Like, I don't know.
You're really
like,
good at it.
Sometimes I don't know what to say in those situations, but like it just.
But you are the thing is you are such a nice guy. And even like all the like announcers and stuff, like they love you because like the way they announce like you and stuff, it's like, I feel like a lot of people have a lot of respect for you because they know you're not really like so into yourself. You're not really like rude. And like, yeah, you didn't touch gloves with them or you'll do things, but you're normally like and always like the nicest guy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's the fight business. You know, it's not really the nicest sport, but
yeah, it's kind of like.
But like at heart, like obviously, yeah, I'm a nice guy. And
hopefully, your next
that's
fight,
gonna reflect in stuff. Unless there was like real beef or something, then maybe I'd be mean. But
yeah, like I feel like it's not just any opponent you have. You're gonna start like talking crap about like you know. But I don't know. It was just such a good overall experience. Like you got a freaking belt. That was really cool.
It was so fun, and there's already talks of other fights happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know a lot of you guys were supporting, so it means a lot to me and Katie B to have you guys' support, and it was super cool, and we appreciate all the love you guys showed us.
I do want to say, Chasey boy, if you're listening, it's all love, you know, and any respect. And I will say, please don't be cocky after this because I really don't know if he's like the most like humble or whatever, but I do respect anyone who steps in a ring. I respect anyone who steps in a ring with Joshy B.
Yeah, fact. I mean, yeah, he knew what he was signing up for, and he still did it.
You're not an easy like people don't look at you though and just be like, oh, that's easy dub.
No, 100%.
So like I do respect anyone who's gonna do that because I mean, I'm never gonna do that, but
she's like, I ain't getting there. That wraps up episode 12 of Your Cup of Tea. We hope you guys enjoyed this, and again, thanks for all the love and support. 20,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. That's huge. If you guys are watching on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. It means a lot to us.
Also, if you guys want to work out like your fighter over here, Joshy B, go hit that Move app and go do our workouts. Because I know someone asked, they're like, is there any specific just Josh workouts? Those are Josh and like. They are Josh's workouts. Yeah,
we're going to be posting on our Instagrams and the Move Instagram, so make sure you guys follow us on all of those as well. What workouts we're doing, and you can follow us on the Move app and see what programs we are doing as well.
Also, who thinks Joshy B should do like a Josh's like training program? Like I think that'd be a really cool program to do.
I'd be down to do that.
So like I don't know if any like younger fighters out there, aspiring people, but anyway.
Let's go. We will see you guys in the next podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We love you. Stay savage. Don't be average. And this was Your Cup of Tea.
Bye, guys.
Peace.